want to talk to you about maths. Specifically, why so many people sitting in the audience right now probably hate it. To start this off, I'm going to tell you a bit of a secret. The stuff you learned in maths class when you were younger wasn't really maths. No, it was arithmetic, which is a part of maths, but isn't indicative of maths as a whole. If this talk were titled Why You Love Maths, then I would say that arithmetic is a proper subset of the set of mathematics. But that's not the title. So instead, I'll tell you a fictional story about an art class. Let's suppose that you go to an art class where they only teach you how to paint walls, where they don't show you the Rembrandts or the Van Goghs or the Michelangelos. First, you paint your wall up and down, then you paint it sideways, and then you can paint this wall with two different colors, but you're still just painting a wall. Suppose you, again, don't understand this and you go ask the teacher. And the teacher tells you that, of course, art is about creativity, but that's in the future. Eventually, you'll be able to make a painting, and you'll really enjoy doing it, and it'll totally be worth getting there, but for now, just keep painting that wall. If you leave this art class saying that you hate art, I wouldn't blame you, but that wouldn't really be correct. What you would be saying is that you hate painting walls, and not art in its creativity. This is pretty indicative of many students' first experience with maths, which can be memorizing times tables for 6 months. The trouble with maths comes from two more factors, pun intended. Firstly, it is really important, and secondly, it is a lot more difficult to show the paintings of maths than in art. Whether you like it or not, for most people, maths is probably the single most important subject in school. If you don't like art, then you don't have to take it past about 14 or so. You can never take an art class again if you want. But with maths, if you want to have anything at all to do with finance or economics or engineering or science or technology, it's going to keep slapping you in the face left and right in school, in university, in your job, over and over. Even if you don't want to study maths at all, you just want to do this one field that has some maths in it. So you could say maths puts a lot of pressure on people. This pressure is then multiplied by how we teach maths. So in schools, how good a student is typically determined by test scores. And the fastest way to teach someone to do well on a test is to tell them, right, okay, Jimmy, so you have this formula, right, and you have this question on the test. And you take the numbers from the question, and you put them into the formula, and you get the right answer. And that's great for Jimmy if he wants to do well on a test, but it doesn't really show him the creative side, the logical side of maths. I want to prove this right now in this hall by asking you a very simple question. Put your hand up if you know the formula for the area of a circle. Just a show of hands, please. Okay, that's most of you. I'm very glad. I'd be concerned otherwise. But put your hand up again if you know how to show that the area of a circle is pi r squared, that you can prove from nothing that that is the answer. Put your hand up now. Oof. I was expecting at least one, but we'll roll with it. So the actual proof for pi r squared requires something called calculus, which sounds very big and scary. But really, it's just cutting the circle into infinitely small triangles and making a rectangle out of them, which has the area of pi r squared. It is a beautiful proof, but it isn't really taught, and that's kind of for good reason. It's never going to be tested. So why would a teacher with a finite amount of time in a school day ever take time out of a lesson to teach this? And plus, it is way above the level of a student who just learned a circle's area. To summarize, mathematics is a subject that is supposedly really important, is mandatory for a lot of people for a very long time, and isn't always fully explained to its core. Because of this, you can get two types of students. Students who find maths really boring, or students who find maths really, really difficult. In both of these cases, your brain either considers the information useless, because it's boring, or this information harmful, because maths is associated with painful feelings, with feelings of failure, for example. In the end, you remember less, and that makes you do worse at maths. And what do you think that does to someone's motivation? At the end of the spiral, you got someone who's not a maths person, and there's a reason I put that in quotation marks. Maths can sometimes be seen as the subject that is above all the others and is only for the smart kids, but as much as I would like to pretend that my subject is better than all the others for some reason, it isn't really all that different to learning a language, or playing a musical instrument, or even to painting. Because the first time you do it, you're gonna suck. And that's because it's your first time. But I will tell you that if you really keep on trying and you really stay curious, I can promise you, math is pretty damn cool. I want to end us off here by talking about what I think someone who's good at maths really is. Because being good at maths is not getting the right solution every single time. I think it's actually kind of the opposite in a sense. Being good at maths means you get the wrong solution and you're still willing to try again. So next time you encounter a really tough problem that you just can't seem to crack in maths, or honestly anywhere in life, if you embrace the journey that yes, this will be difficult, but I will get through this, and give it your best shot, even if or when it doesn't work out the first time, that's all you need to do. Thank you.